Hey guys, welcome back inside of the Plastic Planet. I am your host, Nick Nack, coming at you guys today with yet another subscriber request, and this is a long overdue showcase, if I don't say so myself. I've had this figure for, oh man, almost 5-6 years now, and that of course is the DX07 Hot Toys Bespin Luke Skywalker 2-pack from way back in 2012. This is what $300 used to buy you guys from Hot Toys. You got not only two figures, not two head sculpts, guys, two figures, a working, blinking weather vane from underneath the bowels of Cloud City, and some amazing, amazing packaging for only $300. And by today's standards, that is really, really amazing, if I don't say so myself. And this figure, honestly, has held up marvelously over the years, even compared to some of the latest offerings from Sideshow Collectibles that I have in my detolf over here. Comparing apples to apples, which would be another Luke Skywalker figure, like the Jedi Luke Skywalker figure I'll compare this to in just a little bit. So, yeah, this was an amazing figure from back in 2012. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a, not necessarily a full hands-on review, because there's plenty of reviews out there. This figure's been out for over 6 years, but I'm going to give you my impressions of this figure and some of what I think are definitely the highlights of it as well. I was really reluctant to buy this figure when it first came out. Back in 2012, I believe it was previewed back in 2011. I never pre-ordered it, and the reason I didn't do that is because I was so reluctant, because I already had the Sideshow Collectibles Bespin Luke Skywalker. And of this course, this figure was one of the figures that sparked the great rebuying that I was so reluctant to start doing, because I had already invested so much in Sideshow Collectibles 1/6 scale Star Wars line at that point. And I've talked about this in other videos as well. But this was the figure that sparked that great rebuying, because upon seeing this guy compared to what Sideshow had offered just a few years earlier, it was like night and day. So we're going to also do that little comparison for you as well. So this is going to be a lot of fun, guys. Stick around.
Knickknacks Plastic Planet. With your host, it's Knickknack!
Alrighty guys, well thank you so much for being with me today, and first and foremost, I just wanted to show off a little bit of this outside packaging from this DX07 Hot Toys Luke Skywalker 2-pack from way back, I believe, in 2012. You know what, if you orders Hot Toys collectible as of lately, you know, you're not going to get this kind of quality as far as presentation of the product, or product presentation, I should say. This is a really fine quality cardstock cardboard box that this figure came in. It feels very, very top shelf. Of course, it's got almost like a holographic feel to it, with the bottomless pit from the Bespin reactor chamber from The Empire Strikes Back. That real iconic look, you know, that Luke dropped into at the end of The Empire Strikes Back. As you open it up, of course, you've got, it's a really quality paper stock in here, really quality cardboard. You're really greeted with just a feeling that you made an investment, that this is a quality product, that this is not some crap you bought at Walmart. This is quality, and this is what your money paid for. And you really get that feeling when you open this. And I don't know if you really get that feeling when you open a Hot Toys figure anymore, especially when you open it up and the base, the whole packaging is all foam. And of course, I don't have the figures in there anymore, obviously, but they came like this inside of these foam inserts. It just had this just real feel of quality, just really greeted you with saying, hey, I'm worth that $300 you just spent on me, because look how beautifully I came to you. And that says something. I don't know. I just wanted to point this out, just because it just doesn't feel like Hot Toys puts that kind of effort into their product identity anymore. And of course, as you remove the foam backing for the figures, there of course is the molded plastic shell for the antenna and the action figure stands. But this is what first greeted you when you open the box, and that was an amazing experience when I first unboxed this way back when. Alrighty, well now on to the figures themselves, and this is going to be pretty brief, but still, I absolutely love these figures. Of course, you've got two different Luke Skywalker Bespin figures here. Of course, you've got a battle damaged version and a clean version, and of course, the battle damaged version has the little details. I mean, look at the bruising and the cuts on his face, and of course, his hair is matted from being sweaty from dueling with Darth Vader as he's fighting for his life against the Sith Lord. Of course, you know he's got bloodied, his jacket is bloodied and torn all over. This absolutely looks amazing and is held up beautifully over the years. You know, I've kept him in a pretty nice place. Tried to keep it real dry and free of humidity. And so I think this figure's held up really, really nice. Of course, the figure stand is nice as well. I also wanted to point out he does come with a number of different hand accessories. I'm not going to get them all out for you guys, but if you want to display him on the weather vane like this, of course, you're going to need his forearm with the stump. Of course, this is what that would look like. Of course, you attach it in there, and it's not hard to do, but I'm not really up to doing that right now. I just wanted to show you guys that. That's really cool. And then, of course, he's got his dismembered hand as well. That's kind of gruesome and cool. Alrighty, and moving on to the clean version, which is really awesome. I think this head sculpt still holds up marginally well. And, you know, it doesn't nail Mark Hamill to a T, but I've said this on almost every single Luke Skywalker product I've ever reviewed. Mark Hamill is a really tough cat to nail down as far as his likeness goes. He's just one of those people that can look different in almost every shot in a movie, and so I think it's been hard over the years for action figure sculptors to nail down his likeness, but this is pretty good. It's got the cleft chin pretty nice there, and of course I think you can kind of see the dimple on his upper lip, looking really nice. Of course his jacket and his flight suit is much cleaner in this version. I love having his lightsaber hanging off there, kind of like how he's prowling around the corridors of Bespin just before Boba Fett comes out of the corridor and shoots at him. Looking really nice. I dig this figure a lot. Looks amazing. Alrighty, and here is, of course, the weather vane all lit up for you guys. I think this thing does take, you know, really pain in the ass, you know, hearing aids / watch batteries, and I do believe that bottom orb actually does light up blue as well, but I think my batteries might be low, so that's not working, but it still has that, you know, that light up strobe effect, you know, so that oncoming ships can see where the weather vane is. But nevertheless, really cool. And look, I think they just stopped. They're slowing down on me. They're slowing down on me. Yeah, like all battery applications from Hot Toys, these are just not meant to be left on, and that always sucks, because, I mean, you pay extra, you pay a premium for these things, and they never quite work the way you want them to. And I would like certain fans who like to take, you know, action figure photography, really dig this stuff, and I can understand that. But nevertheless, from just a casual collector standpoint, it is kind of a frustrating application, because they just aren't pragmatic at all. Nevertheless, it's a really cool weather vane. It's a really cool add-on accessory. You get two figures, you get this large weather vane for, you know, for $300 back in the day. Even by today's standards, that's a huge bargain for an import collectible action figure set. If you ask me, I know $300 is a lot of money still, but for what this is, I do believe this is a value. At least back in the day it was. I don't know what this figure would run today if it were to be released today. I have no idea. It'd probably be upwards of $400, I imagine. Nevertheless, really cool. I did have my battle damaged Luke hanging off this from the ceiling at one point, and that was a really awesome display. I don't have that going currently, but that was a really awesome display when I had it. So anyway, there it is. Very cool. Alrighty, so a few other quality applications I want to show off real fast. First of all, I noticed when I was messing around with this, his forearm stump and his detached or cut off hand, there's actually a magnet in there, and these stick together. Look at that. That is really cool. That is, again, one of the quality adds that Hot Toys does. That makes that high price point of their figures sometimes very worthwhile. And this was something that they did then too. So there's almost like a play feature there. Not that you would play with this, but that's almost a play feature, which is kind of really cool. Another thing that was really cool about this particular figure, and I haven't seen this in follow-up figures from Hot Toys, but if you remove the hair piece from Luke, and that always kind of freaks me out doing that, but there is a lever on the back, if you can see that. Not everyone has shown this off, but you can actually, if you're careful, you can actually move Luke's eyes. And see that? Isn't that cool? So you can actually have you can actually really get him into some interesting, dynamic, lifelike poses with that, which is really, really neat if you ask me. Yeah, I always don't like removing these guys' hair. It just looks really funky. Of course, now I can't get it quite back on right. I'll have to do that off camera. But nevertheless, that is really cool. Alrighty, now for my very favorite part of these, let's do a little bit of compare and contrast for you guys. Alrighty, well, narratively speaking, this is definitely an apples-to-apples comparison. That is, of course, right there is the 2018 Hot Toys Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight figure that came out just this year, compared, of course, back to the 2012 DX07 Hot Toys Bespin Luke Skywalker 2-pack. You know what? The Bespin Hot Toys figure, I believe, still holds up pretty well. I mean, I think this is a little better of a face sculpt. Technology has definitely advanced in that area, and it's evident here. But nevertheless, I do think this figure, particularly the battle damage one, holds up pretty damn nicely. As I mentioned earlier, the clean version just looks a little bit off to me. Just almost has an anime feel to it, I almost feel. But it just looks a little bit off to me. As I mentioned earlier, Mark Hamill's a hard person to nail down from a face sculpt perspective. This one gets really, really close. This one's actually pretty good considering he's all thumped up and stuff, and so maybe there's a little bit of a give there from an artistic point of view because he's got some cuts and scrapes and he's a little beat up. So maybe that's why. But nevertheless, still really, really cool. And you know what? You could put these two on a shelf together. Absolutely no problem. They look fantastic. Alrighty, and this, of course, was part of that subscriber request to show off the brand new Hot Toys Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader. Big Daddy's in the house now, next to the DX07 Hot Toys Luke Skywalker from 2012. And there they are together. They are on a similarly heighted stand, so you get a nice sense of scale there with these two together. Again, these two could share a shelf, no problem whatsoever, even though this one is about 6 years older than this one. Nevertheless, really, really good. Looking really, really awesome. I mean, that right there is an amazing display, if you ask me. But nevertheless, that's an amazing comparison with those two together. You could set those two up dueling on a shelf, and it would look really, really awesome. Alright, well, I sure do love peeking my head through all this awesomeness here. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this well overdue showcase of the DX07 2012, I believe, Hot Toys Bespin Luke Skywalker 2-pack. This, of course, was, once again, a subscriber request. Thank you very much for that. That was a great idea to do this figure. It was well overdue, and it's an amazingly awesome figure. And as far as, like, Hot Toy collectibles goes, this is a bit of an iconic piece. As to get one now on the secondary market, complete and intact, is absolutely brutal as far as pricing goes. He's a very difficult figure to find at a reasonable price, not paying outwards of $700-800 for, which is ludicrous, and I would never consider doing that, nor would I ever condone you to do the same. So, eventually Hot Toys probably will revisit this figure, and I would hold out till then. But nevertheless, I feel very thankful to have this figure, just because it was the first Star Wars Hot Toys figure, and it still does hold up pretty darn well today, as we found out today. So, nevertheless, hey, thank you so much for joining me on the Plastic Planet. Hey, if this is your first time finding me, do consider subscribing. We have a great time here on the Plastic Planet. I cover everything from premium action figures to vintage and retro action figures to modern mass market collectibles as well. DC, Transformers, Star Wars. Those are, and really 80s collectibles. That's my wheelhouse, and if you love those kind of things, do consider subscribing. And if you love laughing at this hobby, do consider subscribing as well, because we have a great time here on this channel. I try to play some of these reviews a little more straight to the vest, but nevertheless, we do have a great time here on the Plastic Planet. So, anyway, like I said, that's going to wrap things up. Once again, please do consider subscribing. Please like, please do comment, and I'll see you guys next time. All right. Hey, guys, life is short, so, gosh darn it, go fill it with some plastic crap like this. But don't go buy this, because he's really overpriced now. Seriously, don't do that. But go buy this, because he's on Sideshow Collectibles' site right now. You can go get him right now, this awesome Darth Vader Hot Toys figure. And you can go see the review for him as well. So I have that too. So check that review out. All right, guys. Later. Love you.